Hey guys, it's Seun Okimi and welcome back to my channel. So I've been thinking about this for a while, but I'm about to go to sleep, which is why my hair looks like this, and because I don't want you guys to see what my hair actually looks like because I'm filming a tutorial. But yeah, I just really felt like turning on the camera and just talking without overthinking it. But yeah, in response to the last video that I made about protective styling and like why protective styling is breaking your hair, and I'm really glad the response to that video has been that's been able to help a lot of you guys, because these things took me years to learn. So it's really nice that you guys don't have to go through that and I can be of use to the world by sharing that information. But okay, so the thing that I've been thinking about with protective styling, and the thing that came up like that I saw more with that video, is the whole idea of, is the term protective styling problematic? Like, do we need to change the name? So I posted this thing on my Instagram. I posted a snippet of me talking, the part where I was talking about how our protective style shouldn't hurt, like it isn't normal to feel pain, and how I honestly forgot that that used to be a norm, because since I started doing my hair, like I don't feel pain, all of that stuff. And then in my Instagram I asked, like, why do you guys think that this is normal? Why do you think that we as Black women as a whole have generally kind of accepted it as normal? And the responses were pretty interesting. Like, I expected a lot of people to be like, it shouldn't be normal, like we are not, I don't want this for us, blah blah. And there was that group of people, but then there was also a group of people that were kind of like, it is normal, let's just move past it, it's okay. So I'll actually read you guys some of the comments. If you left a comment, thank you. It was really interesting to read what you guys had to say. Aside from the scientific explanations, I think we've just accepted it as normal because we know other ladies go through the same thing too. And it's just how it's always been. It is well, I beg. So that was really interesting to me. Like, oh, I feel like a lot of people just kind of think that it's so normal to the fact where you can call it scientific. Like, that's just how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to hurt because that's just how braids are, which I think is really interesting. And just saying it as well. Like, let's just move on. We don't need to talk about it. It's just how it's supposed to be. And like, it's not. It's really not how it's supposed to be. It is possible to get braids and normal looking protective styles that don't feel painful and don't require you to take, so this is another comment, but don't require you to take pills like what's called pain relievers. So someone said, I'll put the exact comment here, but just talking about having to go in with a bottle of pain relievers. And I read that comment, I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I have never heard of that. I never really was around people who had to use pain relievers and all of that stuff. So I was like, I'm sure she's probably not alone, but that's still crazy. And then after that, I started doing more research into like this whole topic, just like after seeing people's comments and realizing like, wait, this is actually normal. So before I get into that, I actually want to bring up, let me finish with the comments from here, and then I'll go into what I found after like doing my research. I found some really interesting things, which is what really pushed me to like want to sit down and make this video. But let me finish with these comments. Someone else was like, I got my braids done recently and I had some pain. I like my braids feeling secure and my scalp feeling warm but not aching. I think that's something that a lot of people kind of feel, like they want to feel a little bit of pain so that they know that the beauty is associated with it. So a lot of people were responding that beauty is pain, we've accepted it, it's just part of the process. And we've adopted that notion that beauty is pain. And I feel like that kind of goes back to what she's saying as well. The first person that said something similar, I was like, it kind of reminds me of how people would say like with relaxers that the more you can feel it burning your scalp, the more that you know it's working. So that kind of thing, that's what it's kind of reminding me of, but I get where she's coming from. And then she goes on to say that, but the pain lasted for a week, and one day I looked in the mirror and noticed my bumpy, inflamed hairline, my baby hairs and sensitive edges all pulled out. My dad wouldn't let me take them out because they were expensive and we were tight on money as well. So this is something that is really interesting, because I remember that, like the first part where she talks about the bumpy inflamed hairline. This is like a really strange memory that I have from elementary school, but I remember one of my friends, she had her hair braided like the weekend before, and she was at school, and I just remember us being in the cafeteria after school. I think we were just waiting for our parents, but I remember her being in so much pain, like literally crying after school because her braids were so tight and you could see like the bumps. Like, I had never seen that type of white bumpiness. That's my only memory of that. So like reading her comment reminded me of that from elementary school, seeing that little girl with her, and she wasn't just a little girl, she was one of like our close family friends, but like with a bunch of bumps, crying. And the fact that she never took those braids out, like She came back the next day, and over time, I'm sure the pain sort of went away, but she never took them out. So I feel like it's something that a lot of people go through, but they don't take it out. And then she brought up another really interesting point. The person that commented brought up a really interesting point about why she didn't take them out, which is that her dad wouldn't let her take them out because they were expensive and they were tight on money as well. Which is another thing that a lot of people brought up, the whole financial aspect of it. The whole idea that we want it to feel tight because that just gives us the mindset that these will last really long. And if we're paying $100, $200 for a protective style, we want to get our money's worth, which is why it's so important to just speak up when you're getting it done. Don't wait until after you're home. This is something that people commented as well. It feels like we don't really have a choice. Like the braider just thinks that they know what they're doing, and for you to speak up, like, it's just asking for trouble. You don't want to be seen as a nuisance or being overly dramatic or overly sensitive because the hairdresser just believes she knows what she's doing and she's gonna braid our hair that way anyway. So I was thinking about all of this and like how much and how many problems are involved with this group of hairstyles that we have lumped into protective styling, and with the whole pills thing. So let me go back to the point that I was trying to go off of earlier. With the whole pills thing, I didn't know that that was normal, but afterwards, like with all the comments, it just me thinking about this whole thing. I started digging into more research about hair and protective styling just because I'm obsessed with hair. Like I just love conversations about hair, everything to do with hair, tutorials, conversations. I made a documentary about the use of relaxers in Nigeria. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it afterwards, but I really enjoy having these types of discussions about hair. So I was looking more into it to see what other people have to say about the topic, and I found this whole like series. It started with a film. I think their main project is a film by Unruly. I'll put the link below. But they actually recently made a film called Beauty Shouldn't Hurt, talking about how protective styling shouldn't hurt, really bringing up this topic that I feel like needs a lot more attention. And they did this survey that I posted on my Instagram story, but I'll post it here as well. And one of the first things that it said is that 40% of people who do protective styles have to say that they've taken pain reliever after getting the protective style in. And they have other statistics, I don't remember the exact numbers, about like people losing their edges, and then also people not speaking up, just accepting it as normal and being in the chair and not saying anything. So that was really, really crazy to me to see, especially the first part of like people taking painkillers. Like I didn't realize how normal that was. Like this should not be normal, and people not speaking up, kind of just accepting it. As long as people continue to say and like showcase themselves being in pain and after getting their hair braided, like it's almost kind of like what the people were saying in my comments, like other people were feeling it, so I just accepted it as normal. As long as no one speaks up about how it shouldn't be normal, it'll continue to be normal, and people will continue to lose their edges and all of that from a protective style, something that should be protecting their hair. Which is why I feel like the name protective styling is problematic, not because those styles can't be protective, but because a lot of people, what I realized from the comments as well, a lot of the times we aren't necessarily going into the style to protect our hair. A lot of the times when we want to get some type of cool style, like maybe we just see it on another person, we think of that style as like, I just want to put this style in my head to have the style. The protective style and looking good, or the style and looking good, comes first, and then everything else, how your head is feeling, if you're in pain, your actual natural hair, how it's doing underneath, all of that comes below. Even though pretty much all styles can be good for our hair, a lot of times we're not putting them in with the intent to grow our hair. And the reason why I think the term protective styling is problematic is because if we are putting all of those styles in a category, there's really no other name to call it other than protective styles. Like I was trying to think about it, like, do we have a name to call just the types of styles that you do that don't require you to do your hair? There's no other name for it besides protective styles. So it's caused us to take styles that aren't being done to protect our hair, but are just done for the sake of being a style, and we have no other name to give them besides protective styles. It kind of gives them a false sense of security and that they're doing something good to their hair by just putting in a style. Because it's not the style that makes it protective, it's the intent and the stuff that you do with putting in the style and everything that I mentioned in my last video that makes it protective. There's a large group, I would almost argue the majority of people who do protective styles aren't actually doing it to grow their hair, which isn't a bad thing. Like, not everyone has to be obsessed with growth, even though I think we should be concerned about like losing our hairline and all of that stuff, but some people just aren't, and they care more about the style itself. And I feel like those people are messing up the term protective style. And I started thinking, when is the first time that I started using the term protective styles? Because it wasn't a term that I used in my childhood at all. Like, the only terms I remember were fixing, braiding, and that, yeah, pretty much the only options were, if you were going to do your hair, it was fixing and braiding. Fixing meaning like a sew-in or a weave, and then braiding just any type of braid. And now there's like crochet and other things. But I never used the term protective style. Like, oh, I want to get braids. I would never say, oh, I want to put in a protective style, because a lot of the time growing my hair and putting in braids were two separate things. Now I'm realizing that those things are very in unison, but for a lot of people, those things are very separate. So in that last video, the part where I was talking about how you have to switch up your styles a lot, a part that I took out was I was kind of going deep into more individual styles, and I brought up wigs. With wigs, especially if you're wearing them 365 days a year, even if you're not gluing it down, but you're doing that 365 days a year, you're applying the same manipulation to the same areas. So if you have a wig, even if you're not gluing it down, that's constantly always rubbing against your edges, and you never give your edges a chance to breathe, simply because you always want to be in that protective style. And losing your edges a little bit is okay for the style. Like, that's the mentality a lot of people have, which I'm not bashing anyone, but I feel like it's something that we just need to acknowledge, that not all styles are put in with the intent to grow our hair. So I was just thinking about all of this. Why do we just call everything a protective style? And this is something that Unruly brought up. Like, after moving past relaxers being the reasons why a lot of people were losing their edges, now it's protective styling. That is the reason why so many people are losing their edges. Out of all things, something that literally has the name protective in it, which is why I understand why a lot of people are so anti-protective styling, which is why we just need a new name. So let's come up with a new name. Let us come up with a new name, one. And number two, unnormalize feeling a lot of pain in a protective style. Unnormalize not being able to sleep at night whenever you do your protective style. Unnormalize using pills and pain relievers after you put in a protective style. These things should not be normal. It is possible to still look good and have long-lasting styles without hurting yourself. Like, I cannot stress that enough. It is possible. What has caused us to think that it isn't possible? What has caused us to just sit there in the chair and not speak up and think that it is normal? It is not normal. It shouldn't be normal anymore if we want to keep the name protective styles, or we can just change the name altogether. But I think we still need both. We kind of do need to change the name, and under the big name, there needs to be under that protective styles and styles, just styles that are done for the look. Yeah, let's just continue the conversation. You can find me on Instagram, DM me there, and yeah, subscribe as well if you're not already. And I've said yeah so many times, so I'll just leave. Yeah, thank you. I just said yeah again. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit from it. If you have sort of normalized the idea that protective styling should hurt, I hope that this has changed a little bit of your mindset on it. And yeah, I just said yeah again. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.